Northridge had a informational seminar about a new orphan care program they were starting, and I thought it would be a great opportunity for our couples Bible study to stuff these bags called immediate need bags.
And in those bags we would package bedding, pillows, toothbrush, things that the children would need first off. I intended to get into a line where the children would need mentoring.
He got in the wrong line, though I believe God put him in the wrong line. He was meant to be in the line to become a foster parent.
We had 2 empty bedrooms, so we thought maybe those bedrooms need to be filled.
We were told there are 19,000 children in foster care. 19,000 children in the foster care system. When you think of those numbers, we couldn't say no. It was just where God needed us to be. We decided to take this little girl, sweet as can be, young lady. She did so well in our home, they asked us to keep her for a long-term placement. They then said, oh, by the way, there is a 3-year-old sister. We were not going to separate sisters. So we took her, we found a daycare who would work with us, and the girls were with us for a year.
A big part of our foster family is introducing them to church. A lot of times the children don't know who God is and have never experienced church.
We took the oldest little girl when she came. We went to Northridge within, I think it was within 3 days the first weekend had hit. She loved it. She connected immediately there. Probably within the first 60 days that she lived with us, she asked if she could call her past foster mom. And we kind of were concerned about why, but she said, I need to tell them that they need God in their home. So she dialed up the phone.
She basically said to this family, you need to go to church and you need Jesus.
To see this little 7-year-old just go out there and preach, we knew immediately that our prayers were for a forever family that would somehow be connected to Northridge, or at least help the girls continue in their walk with Christ. So we started to pray, please bring a Christian family and maybe a Northridge family, God, if that's what you see fit, so we could somehow still be connected.
A few years ago we sat down and started talking about, is it time? Do we want to have kids yet? We said yes, and so we started trying to have kids, and at that point it just wasn't happening.
We wanted to do whatever it took to have a family, and we wanted kids, and so we decided to pursue getting licensed and see what God had for us.
Because we had expectations of the way we wanted to start a family, and we really released control to God and said, God, you are the one that's going to give us the right timing. Then when we got done with the licensing process, it was crazy. We got introduced to a foster mom at our church.
A woman at Northridge knew this couple who was starting to think about adoption. So she introduced us, and we had a little blind date at the water park. And I remember Jamie sitting there and looking at the girls playing in the water, and she had this look on her face, and you can just see it in her eyes. She, at first sight, I think, fell in love with the girls.
In that moment, I thought, I've never had a baby to hold in my arms and look down at them for the first time, but I thought, and I remember journaling it that night, I wonder if I just looked into my daughter's eyes for the first time today.
As we started to develop the relationship with Jamie and Bill, they were at our house for dinner frequently, play dates. They eventually became babysitters for the girls. One day in September, and we were driving somewhere, and she asked me if it would be okay for her to pray that God would allow Jamie to be her forever mom. And so now the girls are with the Holbrooks, with their forever family, where they're supposed to be, where God intended them to be all along.
Aaron and I have always thought of doing mission work. So I think God has brought this to us in a way that we don't have to go overseas to do mission work. Our mission work is right here under our roof.
It's amazing how close Rick and I have become being foster parents. I believe God's plan was to strengthen our relationship, so in turn we can strengthen the relationship these children have with each other as siblings, with society, with God, with church members. It's His plan. It's a lot of work, but the rewards are tremendous.
If God is bringing this to you and giving you this opportunity and all doors are open, don't fret the details. Let Him work it out, that He is going to equip, He is going to provide for you, and He's orchestrating it.
Rick and I cannot cure cancer. We cannot end the war. We cannot bring about world peace. We cannot end hunger. We cannot end child abuse, but we can love a child.